Hi everyone, it's Elizabeth here. So I'm just making this quick random video in regards to, I just think a little bit of an opinion piece from something that I've been thinking about lately. And I really believe that, as we are transitioning into this new age, if you believe in astrology, like the age of Aquarius and transition to the age of Pisces, Age of Pisces is a lot of the establishment. It's a lot of secrets in the underworld. And the irony about what's happening right now is like Aquarius is the water bearer, but to some degree, the water that's pouring out of the pitcher is a lot of mental energy. So you do see people who are self destructing themselves through the use of too much artificial things like I don't know, dating apps and pornography and video games and things like that. But you do see the light exposing a lot of the truth. So a lot of truth is being exposed right now, as we've seen through Jeffrey Epstein, as well as um, what's his name, Harvey Weinstein. You've seen definitely people getting busted for pedophilia, regardless of if they're on the Democratic or the Republican side. The truth is coming out. And so the irony is, I remember once playing with fire, and that shit like burnt me and blew up in my face to where I realized like something like lying and fibbing or messing around um, with fire basically was just a bad idea. And so, you see people who are murderers or they're cheaters, the truth will always get exposed. There are some people who get caught for murder immediately, and there are other people that takes like 30 years. Why it takes some people quicker or longer than others, we'll never know exactly why. There's a certain timeline to people's, I guess, exposure to the corruption. But eventually things get caught. And that immorality, I feel to some degree, it's 2019. We're going almost to 20 years in the decade. It's like in modern society, we do know the difference between right and wrong. Not necessarily good and bad. Good and bad can be subjective. Obviously, somebody like Hitler thought that what he was doing was something good. So it's just about morality and being on a moral compass. I would say that people who want to hide a lot of truth or they want to lie and things like that, like the light's going to come to the surface. And now why I've thought about this video or this topic quite a bit is because I do have a lot of quirky friends who are in the world of spirituality. And as an Aquarius, I'm definitely very investigative on certain things, but I've had this ability in my life to seek the truth to where the truth gets exposed immediately. Throughout my experience of being single after divorce, I've had people expose their truth within one night, and other people it's taken a little bit of time to where it's like the truth comes out within a month. And some of my friends are like, that's such an amazing capability to be able to either draw the truth out from people or just being able to find and discover the truth. And a lot of that comes from, I believe, being protected by God. I think God will protect people who, I mean, he'll protect everybody, to some degree, but, I think it's like people who are living a moral life or kind of walking through his path and things like that. What's the word? It's, it's his, yeah, anyways, people will just be protected through God if something is not meant to happen. Um, and I feel like when people, I've been just really good at getting to discover the truths on a lot of lies and deceptive qualities. And I think a lot of that has to do with being so convicted to my moral compass. I mean, Aquarians, it's a fixed sign, so a lot of times we're very fixed, like visors closed in our beliefs, but I am pretty like bent up on convictions to where I'm noticing like people who have no moral convictions or people who are just still, I don't know, living a very dirty life, I guess is the word, like whether that's through like rampant sex or drugs and things like that. It's like It just takes one time for there to be a mess up. It takes one time to have unprotected sex with that hot guy from the bar to get pregnant. It takes one drug overdose to completely kill you. So, or one time of getting in that car wasted that will get you a DUI or, worse yet, killing someone else. So, I don't know. I just think that the truth today is being exposed in a lot of different ways. We're seeing this through the establishment or through the government, corporate corruption. People are getting pissed about it, and that's a big sign of the age of Aquarius. It's like the whole Aquarius is about the people. And as you're noticing, we're seeing either like more politicians or people that are just like, I'm for the people, we're not for the establishment. So, that water that's pouring out of the water bearer's pitcher is pouring the fish down the river, and that fish and that establishment will eventually be broken up. I do believe to some degree the Roman Empire is repeating itself, and life is so decadent today that I think we are on a path of destruction to where, it's like I think society will end up crumbling to some degree, but who knows how far and deep do we have to crumble in order for our moral compass, for us to reattach to our moral compass. And this in itself should make people fear God a little bit more. You can't steal a bunch of information from a corporation and then never expect to not get busted for it. It's like certain things that are immoral or just, ethically wrong, people will get exposed eventually. And so I think having that fear of God is just knowing that God is watching you. He is the ultimate surveillance camera. I talked about that in a blog link below that I will post. And he's like, yeah, he's like a surveillance camera. So he knows exactly what's going on in your head and your heart. He'll never tempt you, but he will test you. So maybe you will get tested to put, if I don't know if you're like a stealer or something like that, maybe you will have to, go get a job at a store where you're tempted to steal, but you have to learn the lessons to not do that. Having a fear of God is not necessarily a bad thing because that makes you attached to your moral compass and it makes you want to do the better things in life. It doesn't, having that fear of God, it doesn't want you to slip off the rails of like the forbidden fruit, that the snake is like holding up in the tree of life to tempt you to do these bad things like cheating on your spouse or sleeping with prostitutes and stuff like that, or doing drugs or getting, becoming an alcoholic and things like that. So I don't know if I have a ton of I haven't done a video in a while, so I'm just like quickly doing this in between jobs. I've been really busy with work, but I just wanted to kind of talk about this to plant some seeds because it's like we all have a choice. Every day we have a choice to do stuff. It's like everybody loved the movie The Joker. They thought it was an amazing movie, but it's like the Joker, even though he was a psychopath or a narcissist, he also had a choice. He had a choice to fall down that rabbit hole of getting pleasure from killing people, which is, part of that whole dark triad and masochism and things like that. So we all have a choice, but to know that God wants you to do the right thing and I think it's like that fear of God instills the belief that the truth will be exposed. And so, that in itself should make people want to live a more moral life or to be more honest with people. I think in the world of dating, playing with people's emotions is kind of demonic. It's like messing with somebody's heart and their emotions is absolutely horrible. A lot of times people think, especially people who cheat on other people, they're like, well, at least I wasn't physically abusive and stuff and I treated them good. But it's like, well, you didn't physically abuse them, but you abused their emotions and their heart, which is just as damaging to some people. I mean, we're seeing this today where we're very, very sensitive and on edge emotionally where it's like one bad breakup leads somebody to kill themselves and stuff like that. So I don't know. These are just some random thoughts that I have. If you have any thoughts about this, feel free to post them below. But I hope you guys have a good day and week, and I will talk to you next time. Thank you. Bye.